talk about chopping versus barrel breaks. You know, it's a often misunderstood terminology there. Everyone says, oh, I'm chopping balls, but typically it's bad paint and they're just breaking in the barrel. It's too brittle. Chopping is actually when the bolt chops the ball. You know, you get the ball down on the feed neck and the bolt comes forward and it's not fully seated and it chops it either in half, partially, whatever. But normally when you chop a ball, you're going to know about it because you can look down your feed neck and you'll see half the shell broken in there. When you find paint broken inside the barrel, that's typically too brittle paint. That's a barrel break. You know, wrong size barrel can have an impact on that, but typically not. You'd have to be pretty far undersized for that. Especially if you're oversized, definitely not the barrel. Most time it's paint. You'll get a bad batch paint. Very easy for that to happen. Chopping, though, is a completely different problem, and that's either a gun without eyes. That's either, you know, bad detents, which is most of the problem. If your detent's bad and your ball can roll too far forward, too far backwards, and another ball will start to roll in there. You know, this one, two crappy little detents in there, but the problem in this gun more or less was the eyes and the trigger sear in this one. You know, another often overlooked problem is going to be tension from your hopper. So if you have too much tension on your hopper, like you wanted 50 balls per second on your gun for whatever reason, you turn it up, or the guy before you, if you bought it used, you know, it's putting too much tension on there, you can actually roll the balls past the detent, and you're going to have the second one start to come inside the breech before the bolt moves forward. So, you know, again, it's just a common misunderstood terminology there. If you're getting barrel breaks, you know, it's probably bad paint. Sometimes in some of the minis or the Yaxes, you can have one of the restrictors in there missing. You have something going on where your bolt speed's too quick and it's actually hitting it with too much air too fast, and it's causing not to be so soft on paint, and you can potentially break it. You know, not every gun has the same characteristics. So you get an LV1 from Planet Eclipse, you can probably shoot any paint you want in the world. Doesn't matter how brittle it is, it's probably going to work pretty flawlessly. But you take your Spider out there, you take your I think spiders are the ones that always have problems with it. Sometimes they're dangerous powers, you know. You go off on a whole list of stuff, but those are just the ones that come to mind since I've had those, and you know, sometimes had problems with brittle paint with them. You know, some guns are pretty notoriously hard, and you gotta know your gun. You gotta know what type of paint you can run with it. But if you're using the same paint consistently, and all of a sudden you get a new box of it, and then it starts breaking in your barrel, yeah, and it's not fun. But it's probably just a crap bag or box of paint. And you're better off just ditching it and get another another box. But again, you know, barrel breaks in your barrel from the force of the air hitting it. Chopping is when your actual bolt chops a ball in the breech. Never a fun thing because you always have to remove the bolt, get the shell out of there. Real big pain in the ass. Much worse than a barrel break. But anyway, often misunderstood terminology. You know, if you're getting chops, check your detents, check your loader. Switch your loader if you have another one. You know, things like that. Those are going to be your most common problems with that. And as always, clean your eyes too, because if your eyes are dirty, it's not going to see a ball in there seated, and it's going to shove the bolt forward and chop that thing right in half. So, anyone have any questions? Feel free to put any questions in the comments, and I'll answer them as we go along. Thanks.